All right, my friends, hello, and welcome back to another edition of the Unofficial Old World Podcast. I am here with my very best friend, the Purple Bull Moose.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you again. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute, but we are here because... What are we here because of, Moose?
Well, we're here because there has been some major shifts in the landscape as far as the game of Old World is considered. Big update rolling on through, some major headline changes that came on through. I mean, we both haven't done a podcast or an episode in a little bit, and we both just kind of agreed, like individually, that if these major changes are coming through, we should check in.
Yeah, this is enough of a shift in the game, at least from the way that we've played the game for the last year. That we really wanted to make sure that we highlighted some of these changes because they are big.
Landmark changes.
I think they're big. They're going to change a lot of people's play styles. All right, so let's just get right into it. So this update came through on the 18th of February, 2026.
4 days young at this point.
Yes, and the number one item line on the design changes was unique unit tech bonus cards are now unlocked through culture instead of tech.
Controversial.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit surprised. I don't think I've seen a whole lot of chatter in the Discord about tech bonus cards, specifically as it refers to UUs, but so the first tier UU bonus card will have their cost increased from 100 to 200, but it will require a city with a strong culture, as opposed to your first tier UU bonus card being somewhere like ironworking or spoked wheel or insert whatever, composite bow, whatever your unique unit type was. That was kind of where your UU bonus card was, if I remember correctly, right, Moose?
I mean, yes and no. So like everybody's unique bonus card was different. Depending on like what kind of, actually I think everyone was completely different. Like Persia got their unique unit, I think at the same time as forestry, which is like the similar line to like Babylon, which is like, those nations have literally nothing in common. One's a science nation, one's not. And, one obviously is going to be benefiting a lot more from forestry, that being Babylon, because they are going to be able to benefit more from science and all the grove stuff. So that was always a very cool line for them. But that always on the other side felt really awkward to do on Persia because you're not going for your laws to get out more unique units. You don't have as much science as Babylon does have for a detour. So there were definitely like some nations that had a better opportunity tech path wise to go for their individual unique free card unlock.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So this levels the playing field, I guess, like in a little way. I mean, everyone's just going for culture. Granted, some nations get culture a lot easier than others. Shout out Greece.
Yeah.
But even still, I mean, it does seem like a very, strong shift in the change because culture hasn't had as much as this as a impact on the game ever before.
Yeah, and you did mention that this would also really, especially help players of tall style, because if you're only having a few cities, you're going to be leveling that culture very, very quickly. Now, I believe it should be noted that as far as I understand so far, you only get it's just the same thing like with the regular tech bonus card for UUs. You only get one of these UU bonuses, and it's the first time that one of your cities reaches strong for the first tier. So it's not, as far as I understand, it's not every single time one of your cities reaches strong. It's your first city reaches strong culture. But you do get 2 units, which is arguably better? Question mark?
I mean,
I kind of think so. I mean,
so you get up to a strong level culture, and on the turn you get up to strong level culture, that card gets shuffled into the deck. So maybe it comes up as a it's still science as well. So you got to do the culture, but the units just don't like pop up out of nowhere. Like it still costs. In this case, not even 100 science, 200 science.
Gotcha.
I mean, getting 2 level 5 strength units, if you have like a quick culture rush, is like a very, very strong attacking opportunity for a lot of us nations. I mean, like getting 2 hoplites on like a patron's rush on Greece by like turn 20, it can be like devastating.
Yeah.
But not all nations are going to be able to get to strong that quickly. It is kind of difficult, like getting to strong before turn 35, 40. Like you got to really be committing to culture if you want to go for that.
I'm not going to lie to you, Moose. I really thought that this just meant when you reach strong culture,
I'll pop 2 units.
You get 2 units. But now that I read it again after you said that, that just means the card gets shuffled into your hand. Oh man, that is
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't scratch a few itches for me. I mean, don't be wrong. Like I need to play this through.
Yes,
I need to see how it goes.
Either I haven't played an actual game of Old World at this moment in time for a very long time. I've been playing cloud games and that's it. So I haven't played anything starting from scratch in a while.
Honestly, the same. I mean, you've seen, like, obviously I've taken a little bit of a step back from the channel. So
yeah.
Honestly, if there ever was going to be something that was going to be bringing me back to the game, a massive change of the landscape like this is actually going to do very good in that direction.
There we go.
So I mean, I'll be giving it a rip probably this afternoon, frankly.
There we go. All right. So then, riffing off of that, going on to the next point, 2nd tier UU bonus cards require a city with legendary culture. So
same deal. That card's going to be coming on through. Now It doesn't say that this bonus card is going to give you 2 units.
It does not, which I assume means it will not.
Yeah. I mean, that would be cool if it gave you 2. That kind of makes would it be strong?
It seems to me like that 2nd tier bonus card is going to be a little bit late, to be honest. Depending on how quickly you're pushing that legendary culture.
I mean, I'm going to crack the game open a little bit. I mean,
Sure.
While we're riffing, like we can keep going with it. But the one thing that I am keeping in mind for this is that when you are getting up to legendary culture, like if the intention of this is to make culture more of a focal point of the game, because, I'm guilty of this. I mean, half the guides that I've written have basically told like the wide masses, like, hey, don't even bother about culture. The culture will catch up on its own. You only need like 1 strong city to get to culture to get your like unique unit, which is like, kind of skewing out half the game, kind of skewing out the whole top part of the tree. But previously, where your level 8 strength unique unit free card would come from inside the tech tree would typically be pretty far along in the game. Like we're talking like around turn 60, turn 70 anyways. Mm-hmm. So that's around the same time where you should be hitting a legendary culture city if you're playing like, optimally.
Well, that's an assumption there. All right, so let's go ahead and touch on the next point. A Zealot leader general now performs a heal action after each kill instead of being able to apply enlist.
I actually love this.
I don't have a problem with this at all. Enlist is really rough, especially if you are, usually in my situation, playing against someone who outmatches you. Who can apply that enlist and really, really micro and then steal your best unit. That kind of sucks. It
can be very oppressive. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be. Now it also feels really great to enlist something on the other end. So, I'm 6 of one, half dozen of the other on this one. I do think the heal action is pretty good.
It's very unique.
Yeah, it will probably really make people do some really crazy stuff with Zealot leaders. I can imagine some pretty crazy cavalry shenanigans with Zealot leaders. I wonder. It says the way that it's written says after each kill. I have to assume that includes routing. So
I mean, that would make sense. The only thing that I'm not certain about is whether or not it includes splash kills. Like if
Ooh,
I have this
okay.
on a onager
Yeah.
and I get like, 4 kills at once, is that onager gonna go from like 2 health, like the 1 health on a zealot back up to like full health after 4 heals?
Who
I mean, that
knows?
would
There's only
be
one way to
that'd be
find
pretty
out.
cool.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty
That'd
cool,
be pretty
but
cool.
also like kind of busted.
Yeah. Well, we'll fix one thing, break another.
hmm
And
hmm
we'll see what happens. But yeah,
I don't know if this is a nerf or a buff. I'll have to see how it plays out in case, which is actually interesting. Becked, if you're listening to this, no, you're not. But in our cloud game where everyone's playing the real world start locations for the nations, and we have like what is it, like 8 of us in the game?
oh, in the Roma Imperium?
Yeah, Roma Imperium.
It's like 7 or 8, yeah, because I think somebody left or got eliminated and another person might have dropped out, I forget. But yeah, there's like 7 or 8 of us.
So we're playing this game, and I'm playing Babylon, and I'm loving my start as Babylon. I'm going straight up to the north. I got the literal like promised land of milk and honey, with all of these groves up in this fertile crescent, above the fertile crescent, and I am beelining it towards a land consolidation play. So I'm actually going to be very affected by these changes that we've had. One, on the Babylon play, going straight shot for LandCon, you used to get Babylon's unique units. So now I won't get Babylon's unique units from the tech tree because
Oh
I now have to go through
no.
culture.
Oh
So that kind
no.
of completely rocks that entire strategy, or at least makes it a lot less potent than it was before.
Oh man.
And I'm about to end up with a zealot on the throne. So I will also at the same time have an opportunity to fully test out this healing capacity,
Well,
although I
there
don't
we
have a
go.
routing unit on Babylon's, which is too
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, my start as Egypt in that same game is considerably less milk and honey and more sand and sand and sand and more sand. And look, more sand. I've never played Roma Imperium before. It would be fun to do another, either a single player or something else as Roma Imperium, just to test it out, maybe on like a lower difficulty, mess around with it and stuff. But it's a crazy map. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, so next thing is specifically to a dynasty. We can just skip that. It's Fervent for PA. I've never
Yeah,
played.
giving somebody else the enlist so that way, it does remain
Yeah.
in the game somehow, which I think is important.
Yeah. Ballista strength reduced from 6 to 5. RIP Scion and your ballistas.
It's a pretty solid nerf to them, especially when
It's
you
a
take into
big nerf to
consideration
them.
Torsion Spring.
Yeah.
Because Torsion Spring is what, a plus 100% damage, so it actually takes them from a 12 damage against infantry to a 10 damage against infantry, which is still potent.
Yeah, it is, but I'm a little bit surprised by that because I don't remember seeing many people call for it. Now, I guess maybe, with generals and promotions, maybe it's not that much of a nerf, but I mean, I'm fine with this. I don't think it's game breaking. It's a slightly downward lateral move in my opinion. But it is still there and it is worth noticing.
I'll also take the small buff to the Purple Nation Rome inside of multiplayer, because this Ballista was one of the few ways to counter Rome.
There we go.
So, because there's not any other units outside of like going down archery, which if you're going longbows down the center of the map on a multiplayer game, you're cutting off your knees by going away from where all the orders are inside the tech tree. So yeah, that's not really an optimal play if you're trying to like, beat yourself out against Rome. So it's definitely better to go for like the laws down the bottom half of the path, over to getting more science and more materials through mills, and then unlocking ballista. So it is a small little buff to Rome, which is always appreciated. So some definite buffs to Rome here, some definite buffs to Greece here as far as multiplayer is concerned. So I bet you'll probably see even more Rome than we already are doing to a nauseating extent inside the multiplayer scene.
Well, speaking of to a nauseating extent in the multiplayer scene, our next point is Carthage city founding bonus reduced from 200 to 100 civics. I don't think.
Mwah. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I think very few players will have a huge gripe with this. Marauder, Mongrel Eyes. Who else? Maybe Ninja. Aran, maybe. are some of, if I'm remembering correctly, some of the notable Carthage players in the tournament. Again, I have no problem with this. Carthage gets a disgusting amount of civics.
Yeah, completely unfair.
Fine with it the way it is.
Yeah. They have enough bonuses going for them.
Yeah, moving swiftly onward, founding Christianity no longer requires ownership of a Jewish city. Now
Also fantastic.
Now requires 3 Jewish cities globally. Yeah, think this is this one's a good one. It'll make it easier to found Christianity. If you find yourself without a religion, besides the Zorro and Judaism rush, this is good for you because you'll probably get Christianity quite a bit quicker than you normally would have.
Yeah. I mean, this also just benefits growth. If you wanted to play like a different style of tall and like focus on like all the growth inside of your nation, this is a great way to be able to get to abuse that. So this feels to me like a nice little buff to nations like Oxum that has a lot of innate growth in and of itself. So I really like this. Big fan of this change. Going for a population, which getting 10 population all on its own is like pretty difficult. Like it's not something that just happens automatically. You really have to lean into growth and like limit how many growth-based units you're making. So if you're producing a lot of workers, you're kind of slowing down your population growth.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting. I'd love to see this played out, like you said, with Oxum, or with a number of other nations in the game would be really well.
Everybody with landowners.
Yeah, anybody with landowners specifically. Not necessarily
Hunters on game. Everybody who gets pastures early. It's very good all around.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see because let's say with people that get pastures early, they usually go for Judaism rush. Players that start close to obviously divination, do Zora rush, but what if you didn't? What if you waited for Christianity instead, focused on other kinds of growth, et cetera, et cetera? Those things would be really interesting.
I would love for that other change that keeps getting passed around inside of the community where there's going to be a change to clerics. I know everyone keeps debating that back and forth. I feel like that's been put on the back burner for a while now. But I do like one of the things that were recommended that cleric cities would be able to make monasteries just inside of their cities or something similar to that.
Okay.
Because going for monastery or even trying to rush monastery is so far down the tech path, but being able to really play a hardcore religion game, I feel like would be a really fun play style. So I hope that gets worked a little bit so monasteries become into the game a little bit earlier.
Yeah, well, who knows? I mean, with an update this big getting dropped, who knows what they're working on in the back, and maybe they're just fine-tuning something like that. But no, it would be a lot of fun. Next one, engineer promotion and general trait allows road building instead of bonus against siege ships. I love this. Engineer, in my opinion, has been a garbage throwaway. We talked about it in Kochi Moose. More than once, you get the event where someone can become the Raven or an engineer.
Yeah, and they're deceitful. Yeah. It's okay, do I want a deceitful, power-hungry general? No, that sucks. So I'll just go for this do-nothing promotion.
Yes, and I love it. Roads. I am a big proponent of roads in the game. Build more roads. You're not building enough roads. I can guarantee you're not building enough roads. You should build more roads. So I love that. I have no other notes on that.
For nations that don't have a trader's family inside of them, where they get that surveyor promotion on their workers, having one worker be used up for a decade. Just building a road from point A to point B sucks. You want to make sure they're actually improving your cities. So being able to get a general, all of a sudden engineering feels lucky. Oh, great, I actually have a good engineering general. Let me throw them on here and get to working on the infrastructure while I'm working on my other infrastructure. I think it's a very fun strategy changing part of the game. So I give them kudos on this one. I think it's very good.
Yes, I do too. Now, it is worth noting that, your engineer promotion / general trait will more than likely only allow them to build one road at a time instead of the traders 3. But still, being able to use a military unit instead of a worker unit will still be a big deal.
I mean, I definitely have like warriors in the early game that are sitting around for a decade doing nothing.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
yeah, if this gives them something to do and doesn't like chew up one of my worker units,
Yep.
I mean, that's great.
Yep. Yep. All right. Added new national ambition. Control 3 of each legendary improvement.
Sure, sounds fun.
Yeah. No real notes on that for me. Have to see it in
Very
game.
tech heavy, but sounds fun.
Have to see it in game. Have to play with it to really see what it does. Changed control 6 legendary cities national ambition to control 5 legendary cities.
Cool. Agree with that too. 6 legendary cities is really tough.
In multiplayer, that's got to be almost impossible. By the time you're getting 6 legendaries, and maybe that's different with competitive mode, like in the tournament, but like in multiplayer, that's got to be almost impossible.
Yeah,
because games would be ended before then, in theory, depending on how well you do with managing the growth and the culture and all that other stuff. All right, send 20 luxuries is now a tier 9 ambition instead of national ambition. I never really
that's fair.
understood the national versus, like, is national like the same as crowning or
yes?
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, so me and you always called it crowning, but I guess they call it national.
That's one of the verbiages that got changed over time. It used to be crowning, now it's national.
Gotcha.
And it just makes the perfect sense because this is the national ambition, the crowning ambition that I got to win the multiplayer game in the content creator free for all. Yes. And when I got it at the time, I'm like, this is a complete bullshit. Like compared to like some of the other ones, like I just happened to have a shit ton of groves I had already built.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right. And it's like, hey, do you want to send 2 more luxuries to people? I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do 2 of what I've already done, spend my entire game doing. So that became really easy. It's like kind of like one of those times like I definitely skipped around and like changed up different ambitions for that game. But yeah, that was a total like high roll for an ambition, especially for the seed that I was playing on. So I'm happy to see this one go.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I have no specific notes for that. As far as how I play, so yeah, no, I just remember that's how you, as No Legs said, got me in your back pocket for that game. Just like, hey, Jams, I'll give you all these luxuries if we just be cool. And it's like, yeah, dude, I'll be cool. I
feel like the luxuries are like a nice little bow on top, a little cherry on top.
It absolutely was. Yeah, Disciples. So the next 2, I'm going to group together. Disciples can now clear vegetation, and
yes.
Cannot build an improvement that removes vegetation if the unit cannot clear vegetation. So just grouping those together makes a whole lot of sense. A lot of times you might be looking to build a monastery or a religious wonder on a tile of vegetation. Disciples should be able to do that. Otherwise, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Yep, whatever.
And also a great thing, again, when you have units that are just sitting around. Sometimes
there we go.
I built all my monasteries. I spread all the religion that I want to. Maybe I can spread my religion to like my neighbor. Maybe that's useful. Maybe that's not. But now I have an extra unit that I can send off into the wilderness and chop wood. Yep. Not really thematically what Disciples have done in the past, but from like a gameplay standpoint, I do enjoy having less useless units.
And you know what? I didn't even think about that until you started to say it. And I was like, yeah, and then you could just use them to chop wood. And that's a good use for them. Absolutely. Perfect. All right, so this is another kind of sort of big one, especially if you main a trader's nation. Traders no longer get a court merchant when founding their seat.
Yeah, just another nerf to my Babylon game. I'm literally about to settle my first trader's seat, and I'm not going to get my merchant.
I kind of don't understand this one.
Traders is a very, very powerful seed.
It is.
I mean,
it is,
especially with the boost to culture that we just got. Because
that's true, I guess. Yeah.
If culture just became more powerful, hunters and traders are like super slept. I mean, probably not slept on, but like maybe not immediately.
I guarantee you that.
But maybe not immediately identifiable to like the average player, like the newer player.
Maybe.
That these are huge cultural powerhouses. Being able to double the output from a net, which is already one of the best sources of culture out there. Nets and camps. So I mean, like getting a seat like that always feels really good. Not to mention they get the fair, which is also going to boost those nets up ridiculously.
Yeah,
or any other sources of gold.
And you pretty much get access to the elder, what is it?
Shopkeeper. Yeah.
From Settle. So I guess
more science, huge growth, a whole bunch of gold.
Yeah, but it does, it does take a long time to build that elder shopkeeper, so it's not exactly a perfect trade-off. But you know what? I think I would like. I'm just gonna put out a hypothetical there. I think I would like to see, instead of just removing the court merchant when you found your seat, I think maybe it might be fun if, after you found their seat, the next tech hand, you can get the free court merchant tech card. Then you can make the decision: do you want to go for that merchant or not?
But make it cost something.
Right. That way it's not, you don't get it free. You can go ahead and you can choose it on the next tech hand. Obviously, if you're 10 years out, you on whatever tech you're on, you still got to research that. But on the next tech hand, I think maybe that could be fun if you got a free court merchant card and still make it cost whatever it would cost. If that's, what is it? 200 science, 300 science, whatever it is, don't scale it back, still make it cost the same thing. But after you settle that, that trader's seat, maybe the next hand, regardless, maybe it could even be like an addition.
I mean, listen, I love the idea of adding more quarters in the game in general. So like I'm for whatever you're selling right now.
Maybe I'll pitch that in a suggestion thread. I'll think about it if I remember it after we're done talking here.
Don't get me wrong, I am 100% for a trader's nerf. I feel like whenever I'm playing a trader's nation, I never consider not picking the traders, which is like makes it less interesting. Like you should always, when you have to leave out one of the families for any nation, you want it to be a hard choice. You never want to be like, okay, this is a given.
Yes. No, I agree with you there. Yeah.
So like I am like okay with the trader's nerf overall, but yeah, listen, if you're going to advocate for anything that adds more courtiers into the game, I'm all for that. Courtiers are just like cool characters.
They really are.
And I love having people with access to training and access to use new archetypes in interesting ways as governors and generals and spies. I think is all really cool.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, more courtiers the better.
All right. Next one, prevented. So basically, they have removed the ability to build anything on marsh except for farms with centralization.
Makes perfect sense.
It does make a lot of sense, but it makes me sad.
It's annoying.
It makes me sad because there's a lot of times when you have marsh next to a mountain, and those are good quarries. And
they're the best quarries. But if you try to build a quarry in a swamp,
no, you're right. No, I get it, and like you said, it makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect sense, but I'll be sad to see those quarry spots go.
Yeah, no, I'm right with you there. But you know what? It just makes it more important to go for centralization if you get a lot of marsh.
But that's kind of a problem in and of itself. I feel like centralization is already such a snap pick. Like it's so hard to give up on like what is it, like early game, like 4 science if you have developing culture, which like happens in your cap pretty early.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I can't imagine not going for centralization now, especially.
Like you just said when we were talking about the families, it shouldn't be centralization is the obvious pick. There should be something else for the opposite pick in more scenarios that gives you pause to be like, well, should I go centralization or should I go vassalage? Because it's vassalage.
I mean, I do. Yeah. I do find myself consistently switching from centralization to vassalage late game. Just to be like, hey, listen, the army's rolling out.
Yeah.
As soon as they leave my borders, their like upkeep cost is going to massively increase.
Yeah.
So I got to make sure I'm cutting that in half if I can.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, definitely makes sense.
And maybe that is the play there. Maybe it is the snap pick that you go centralization early, and then later on you go to vassalage. But that's not a. I don't want to say a meta, but that's not a thing I've seen discussed a whole lot. But it's not something I've been paying a whole lot of attention to personally. So, all freshwater sources supply fresh water to their own tile in addition to adjacent tiles. Makes perfect sense. Why would they not?
I don't even know what this means. Like, wasn't this already the case?
I'm not sure. I'm sure it must have been some kind of
maybe a bug fix?
A bug fix or something, or a specific scenario thing. Either way, it makes perfect sense. Remove free silk and free ebony bonus tech card.
I'm fine with it. I rarely went for these anyways.
I did go for them every now and then.
Like, they're good if you want like a quick turnaround to get to like the next hand.
Yeah, the next hand, or sometimes it's nice to give that to to a city or to a family who's really pissed. I don't have big opinions on it, but I'm a little bit sad to see them go. I feel like it was fine to leave them there, but maybe they did the research and hardly anyone
maybe just no one was building in.
Right, exactly. No one was picking them. Maybe they'll come up more in events or something.
But I do like what I think they did, like, in change for that. Like, they're like, yes, okay, so people do build these, but maybe they don't build them all that often.
Yeah.
And when they build them, I guess I wish they went further so more people would pick them. And that's where that next one comes 2 lines down. Free porcelain and free perfume bonus cards now give 2 instances of their luxuries.
Yeah. So yes. So in addition to that, free porcelain bonus card to be unlocked by coinage and reduced by tech cost accordingly. And then, as you just said, free porcelain and free perfume now give you 2 instances. I see free porcelain and free perfume coming up more and more in events. It seems like to me. I'm not picking necessarily free porcelain and free perfume in the bonus cards so much as I'm picking them in the events.
I mean, grabbing an event is one thing. Giving up 3 years of tech for it is completely other thing. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Autonomous rule project is removed when a city is breached. Makes perfect sense. Why would that continue? The city has changed hands. Characters cannot give birth more than once a year. In parentheses, relevant for non-yearly turn scales.
Yeah, it makes sense. You can't have less than Irish twins, popping out a kid every semester.
And then we've got free laws that replace an existing law do not increment the law change count. I'm not sure specifically what this is referencing. I haven't noticed a free law changing the law count, but
Oh, okay. So this is the law change count, not like the law count. So it's not saying like, if you change your law, it's going to give you an extra new law. But every single time you change a law, with the exception of having a judge leader, the cost for changing the next law. Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So this is just making sure like, hey, if something happens where like the events are changing it for you, it's not penalizing you on the back end.
Good. Yeah. I agree with that. That makes sense.
Yeah, you're making a change that's like going with like the popular demand. Why would that cost extra civics?
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
All right, raiders can capture empty cities and city sites.
Great.
Sure.
I love that.
Make it more chaotic. I don't see a problem with that. And then I am going to skip down along when we're talking with raiders. Killing raiders now contributes toward goals to kill units of original tribe, which
this was such a pet peeve of mine. I'm so happy they changed this.
Yeah, I agree as well. And then raiders are less stubborn about raiding if the shortest path is blocked and will hit opportunity targets instead. I'm assuming that means improvements, unguarded civilians, etc.
Yeah, like won't try to walk around a mountain to get around zone of control to attack the city. Instead, they'll just burn your farm to the ground.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense to me. I love that. Again, like you said before, more chaos, more better with raiders.
Absolutely.
That's their point. Their point is to be annoying, so make them annoying.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so going back, adjustments to family archetype type characters tendencies, including champions have more zealots and less heroes, and riders have more heroes and less zealots. I have no problem with this.
I'm fine with that, I guess.
It's not a huge swap. And then when randomly assigning archetypes, characters with governor effect traits are much more likely to be assigned a governor archetype, and similarly general archetypes for characters with general traits.
This is just great stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't make any sense to have it the other way. It was always super frustrating to get like great governor stats on a general and great general stats on a person you specifically trained to be a governor. So skewing that to where like it just makes like, you know, they will eventually be useful. It just feels right.
I agree. All right, and then
Nothing worse than having a fierce judge. It's like
right. It makes no sense. It's useless. It's not completely useless, but it's not. I don't
like it made sense sometimes. Like on like I when on generals it makes a little bit more sense, and I do actually sometimes really liked it as generals. I wish like because you know like when a general retires, then they can become a governor.
Yes,
but there's never a circumstance where like a fierce, steadfast besieger judge can ever become a general.
Right.
So it just like that way never made any sense to me. I wish there were more ways to retire generals. I wish like, you know, if they became like crippled or injured or scarred, there was like an option in that event to like retire them. I'm like, okay, now I can use this person like, hey, listen, dude, I know you were great in the field. Thank you so much for your service. But I think actually after this accident, you're better suited for helping, you know, run the barracks. So let's put you in charge of that instead. I feel like that just like, you know, would be more fun thematically. So I hope they go in that direction with this change. I hope this is kind of like lending to that as well. But in the meantime, I'm very happy with this, you know, trying to keep those individual characters kind of like in the boxes they're crafted for, as opposed to trying to like increase their flexibility. I do think like, you know, it is like limiting in a certain sense, but sometimes a little bit of guardrails, a little bit of railroading can really help the sense of streamlining a game.
You know, you've just given me an idea there, Moose. I wonder if a mission to retire a general for certain archetypes or after certain events could be interesting. Like,
ooh, like added to like a counselor mission, like a chancellor or a spy master.
Well, yeah, either a chancellor or a spy master, or as a ruler mission, you know, but with certain guardrails, like you have to be a martial ruler, and or like let's say, you know, the governor has not the governor, the general has taken a city or cleared so many barb camps or killed so many barbs or killed so many enemies. Maybe even getting into like the rising star things.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, after whatever X is, you get the option of an influence mission kind of sort of thing. It's like retire general. Be like, oh, it costs training, but you can retire the
training
general.
Costs civics. Maybe they become slighted or disappointed because they want to be out in the field.
Well, maybe, but what I was thinking more of is like you can retire the general early. But then they become a retired general, and you can use them when they're not 60 years old.
Yes.
And then they can
get more time with them.
You can get more time with them, and then if you've got like a military city, then they can become the governor of that military city early, and that could really change the way that certain archetypes are used to really boost a military production city, to really kick it into overdrive. That could be really fun. I might workshop that a little bit too.
You know, if anybody from the game, devs, if anybody from Mohawk, if you're listening, if there's one change that I'd love to see like in this game, I really hope you take this one to heart, because it's just everything that kind of like feels good about Old World. It adds to the story, it adds to the narrative, it adds to the player choice, and it adds to the micro in like skill cap. So all of those things just like really lend to what makes Old World, you know, the best 4X game in my opinion. So, you know, if you guys are listening to any particular critiques or improvements that I lend for this game, this is the one I hope you take to heart.
All right, cool. Well, we know that our devs listen. They are the best devs. We love our devs.
God bless our devs.
And yeah. All right.
So after coming back from a brief interlude.
Yes.
So taking a peek at it, while you had a chance to step away from the mic, I cracked open a game of Rome, and just to figure out, you know, general pacing for a nation that's not rushing drama. I'm actually about to unlock drama turn 26.
Okay.
For Rome, which is pretty early for me on Rome. Like I don't typically try to go for it this early. But my pacing so far, without getting my first acolyte, I have a patron seat, 3 precious resources. So it's an increase in 75% culture coming to the city. And I also have my shrine down. So a total of 14 culture coming into the city turn over turn. And it's still going to take me until turn 53 to get access to my first level unique unit tech card, which I
Okay.
feel like is going to take a lot longer time. I feel like it wouldn't be turn 53 that I'd have access to the steel tech,
Yeah.
which previously gave me access on Rome to my unique unit free tech card.
Right. Yeah.
So it is a delay.
Yeah, I agree there. And again, it is situational depending on your nation, and it also depends on whether or not you're beelining it. But I think I kind of sort of agree that the change from straight up tech tree to culture level in the city UU card is a bit of a delay. But maybe that's the point. Maybe, maybe the point is to reduce the first UU rush card. And to make it more of a real bonus rather than this is a linchpin of my strategy to get this one unit and then walk over my enemy with that one unit for better or for worse.
Yeah, I guess I hear that argument. I mean, it's basically saying like, hey, let's not do the cheesy rush strategies. But as a fan of cheesy rush strategies, I am deeply offended that they are removing.
No, I'm right there with you. I mean, I played games around those strategies, but the old world giveth and the old world taketh away.
So cruel.
And so we will have to improvise, adapt, and overcome. All right.
Where do we leave off?
Yes, indeed. So moving on to the next point, doubled the master/elder scribe money per citizen from +2 to +4.
Great.
Yeah, will not complain about more money. More money is more good.
Yeah, it's very rare that I get all the way up to elder scribes. So yeah, sure, great, whatever.
This is one that I don't quite understand, and I was talking to Solver about it in the Discord a little bit this morning. Anchoring and unlimbering states are not interrupted by attacks that apply new cooldowns. Example, immobilize and stun. Now, Solver explained it to me that this is a subtlety, so that way, if you immobilize or stun someone's onager, it does not take 2 turns then to be able to attack, but rather 1
to get it
turn.
back up and running. Yeah.
My argument is stun and immobilize should cease all movement, including anchoring and unlimbering that are already in progress. I'm not going to die on that hill, but that's just my knee-jerk reaction, like, then what's the point of stunning and immobilizing if you can't stop your enemy from unlimbering? Now, I think
interesting.
I think the immediate counter argument is you just keep stunning it, so it can't attack, and then kill it. But then, like, I don't know.
I mean, there definitely are like some very interesting interactions in this game that don't quite make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, like Panic. I feel like Panic is super underwhelming. I feel like it should be situational, like, but being able to use an elephant to ungarrison a unit out of a fort just doesn't make any sense. It's like, oh no, there's elephants at the gate. Run from the fortress. It's like, like that doesn't make any sense.
No, and I hear that 100%, and I'm actually on the opposite side of, I think, your argument, but I initially wasn't. So initially I was right with you, as in, like, okay, there's an elephant, but like we're in a freaking fortress. But then, like, otherwise, what's the point of Panic if you can't? Because if you have a unit in a fortress, right, there is almost no counter for a unit in a fortress other than to get the unit off the fortress, especially if they're fortified. And elephants are so situational that if they didn't have the ability to get a unit, especially a spear or a polearm unit, off of a fortified emplacement like a fortress, they wouldn't have a use in the game. The thing that I think delineates Panic from Immobilize Stun is that Panic is a unit. Is a unit ability, but like Stun is a leader ability. And if they justified the whole thing about leaders being immune to special conditions like Stun, but other leaders still have Stun, what's the point then of not having a unit in a status that prevents an action like anchoring or limbering from being affected by that special cooldown thing? So
I'm with you on half of it. Like, I'm 100% with you on half of it.
Good,
like on the side of anchoring makes perfect sense. Like, because the purpose of an anchored ship isn't to be aggressive and attack. The purpose of an anchored ship is to stay exactly where it is and to enable other land unit movement. So I feel like it should negate the anchoring ability for the turn that it's stunned. I think that once it's no longer stunned, the anchoring should immediately be back up, but it should interrupt it for a turn in the same way that, like, because that's already what it's doing with onagers. Because if you're stunning it for a turn, like, yes, you're not also stunning it for 2 turns by making it re-limber, but you are making sure that it can't fire for that chance. So you're basically turning off its use case. So it should turn off the anchored ship's use case for a turn. Or at least that's my opinion on it. I don't think it should break the anchoring condition, but I do think it should like flip a switch off, which is probably like really hard to code.
Well, so that's
I can see why they didn't go in that direction.
So actually, that's what it's doing. So it's not. Can you repeat the last line that you just said? It shouldn't.
Right. So I'm thinking like. I mean, you let me know if like this is the case, because I haven't had time to test it yet.
Yeah.
But so if you have a ship and it's anchored, and then it gets attacked by a tactician leader and stuns it, you should not be able to use its anchored movement during that turn.
Okay.
Like when it flips back over, in the same way that you wouldn't be able to move the ship or attack with the ship, you also shouldn't be able to get the benefit of it ferrying your troops back and forth because that ship is locked in place.
So that's anchored. This is talking about anchoring.
Anchoring.
So these are 2 different things, which I don't disagree with you on your.
Okay.
The status is already, and this is where we get really, really like microscopic in our analysis of the language of the code in quotation marks, not like the actual code.
Anchored,
but like,
anchoring, not unlimbered, unlimbering.
I don't disagree with you. Maybe that's another thing that we can workshop later. But this is saying that if I end my turn and I'm anchoring and it says anchor next turn and my unit gets immobilized or stunned, it is now no longer going to stop that anchoring or that unlimbering.
First off, I love how we're getting into like Magic the Gathering like level of terminology here. But no, I think I'm officially back on your side.
So that's what I don't get, right? Because like the point of stun, the point of immobilized is, in my opinion, my very humble opinion, and everyone listening to this knows that I am not the best old world player in the Discord, in the community, by a long shot. But I don't think that immobilize or stun should not stop anchoring or unlimbering. Yes, it will take you 2 turns, but that is the point of the cooldown, is to stop a unit from doing something, either attacking, potentially fortifying. If it doesn't already stop fortifying, I think it probably should at least maybe not let them go to the next level of fortify because you're stunning or immobilizing.
Also, it says i.e. immobilized and stunned. Does that mean like those are the only two circumstances that we're talking about? Or are we also talking about fire ship panic and elephant panic?
I do not believe that is the only thing that it applies to. I think those are just two examples, but we'll have
panic, I think, breaks everything. Panic, like anchored and anchoring, unlimbering and unlimbered.
I believe so as well, but we'll have to clarify that in the Discord or potentially
I hope that's the case.
In the subreddit, because we might just be moving to the subreddit.
Oh my God, that's right.
But
well,
anyway.
I mean, first off, shout out to Reddit. That's where I got my start.
Yes.
So it'd be nice to see that community get, the massive influx it deserves. But I will miss the Discord.
I think, I'm not putting the cart before the horse here. I'm not saying Discord is dead, but I'm just saying, no matter what, I think we need to have a very clear understanding of what this specific bullet point actually means.
Yes.
And
this is nitty gritty stuff.
It is very nitty gritty. And I'm not normally this nitty gritty, but.
Yeah, but if you're talking about like implications, especially for like the multiplayer scene, like getting this straight is very important.
And that's what I think. I definitely think this is multiplayer driven, right? This is probably tournament.
I hope so, because it's a niche circumstance.
Yes, tournament stuff.
It's going to be rare that the AI is going to fly in with a tactician to stun my ship that's anchoring, because it identifies like that movement is crucial to like my overall strategy.
Yeah,
a player would figure that out.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a very interesting take. I'm with you on this. If this is how you explain it, then you are 100% correct. I think this is the wrong way to take this, because if you are going out and you are specifically stunning a ship that's about to be anchoring, to make sure that its ability to ferry ships is turned off, like if that is your strategic design, then you should be rewarded for that, because that's a cool move that took a lot of like micro, that took a lot of like strategy behind it, and you should be rewarded for that. You shouldn't it shouldn't be negated.
Yeah, I'm with you there, and I'm kind of glad we're on the same point there. But again, I'd be happy to talk to anybody on the dev team. Either over voice or in the Discord or whatever. I'd really like to clarify this more, because I think, again, it is very multiplayer centric. But the fact that it's so multiplayer centric, it being a change to the way that the single player game works also does have its consequences as well. But yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, but like we said earlier, because this is something that's like going to happen more often in multiplayer, I feel like it should be tweaked from a multiplayer standpoint. Not to say that the AI isn't like the best AI that I've ever played against, but I don't think it's so smart as to be able to identify specifically where your supply line vulnerabilities are.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful. Moving swiftly onward. We're going to touch on the civilian unit changes to the game. So we've got...
This is good. I like this part.
Killed civilian units now count for Syrian orders. Very specific, but nonetheless important. Hero leader training, epics culture, etc. So anything that counts for killed units will now include killed civilian units. And then... Units can pass through hostile civilian units as long as they don't end their movement on their tile. This, I'm a little bit sad to see this go, because I've used civilians to box in units.
Yeah, the Zoc lock on a civilian, but it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense. Like you wouldn't be able to hold back like a horse cavalry battalion by like some farmers out there with pitchforks. No, I mean, maybe you would actually, but that's a militia.
That's a militia, not a worker.
Very specifically a militia.
Very specifically, yeah. And you know what? Shout out to Nazar, where I trapped your raiding chariot in our duel in the tournament with workers and killed it with a shotalai. You will now have your revenge, because I won't be able to do that necessarily anymore.
Yeah, shout out to Moreton in our match, Persia versus Carthage, and I trapped in his elephants with militia after his offensive.
There we go.
The tactical worker is quite frankly too strong. It's too strong for how it doesn't make any sense for how strong it like tactically is. But that doesn't mean like it's completely goes away, because you can still use them as meat shields, which is like thematically speaking more appropriate to Old World. And if
yeah.
you are killing these meat shields in the theater of war, or shout out to Ninja in our no, my mistake, Nazar, in our current multiplayer game where he ran into my backline with like a couple of units and just killed like 2 or 3 workers, and he completely screwed up my entire strategy. My complete pacing for
Yeah.
like 7 Law Rush completely thrown off by these worker kills. And like that should be rewarded more so. It should even be incentivized because of like how crucial that is to like his overall strategy, to my overall game. So that should be further incentivized if you are Assyria, if you do have a hero, if you are running epics, all that should work out the same, in my opinion.
Yep. No, I'm not going to disagree with you at all right there. All right. And then next
Thematically, I like these changes.
Yeah. Next is improvements to Carthage campaign persistency. Not really anything to talk about in this context.
I don't even know what that means. Carthage campaign? Is that just like the scenario?
It must be the scenarios. Yeah. Increased maximum effect of God opinion on religion
this is all Wrath
opinion.
of God stuff
Wrath
for
of
these
God
final
scenario.
ones.
Yeah. Reduced tribal range in Wrath of Gods, and then disabled venerate, also Wrath of Gods. These are scenarios. I've actually never played. I'm a little bit embarrassed to say I've never played Wrath of God scenario. There's a lot
either.
There's a lot to do in Old World, and Wrath of Gods is a little intimidating to me. I think they've made it a little bit easier over the years since it's come out, but it isn't. I've seen it played. It's intimidating to me, and I've just got so many other things to do than this specific scenario.
It's never really appealed to me, just because I feel like it is, and don't get me wrong, like there are certain like superstitious and mythology driven events inside of Old World, as it is blessed, cursed, the witch, all of those are really fun. The monkey's paw, I love all of that stuff. But it was a little bit too far for me.
Gotcha.
Like breaking my overall gritty realism of the Old World immersion going into Wrath of Gods. And that's coming like for me, who I've loved literally every single other scenario. Barbarian Horde, I still think is like one of my all-time favorites. I love the Greek ones.
Yeah.
The first thing that like really made me fall in love with the game was the Greek scenario where you're just given a whole bunch of units. There's no cities. There's nothing to build up. And you just have to use your units that you're pre-given. No reinforcements are coming against their units that are given. And just this big open field battle. I don't remember which Greek scenario it was. But it's so much fun. It made me fall in love with the combat of this game. So like I love the scenarios. It just, the Wrath of God just wasn't for me. Not my flavor.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And again, I just haven't played it because it's a little bit too daunting for me right now. Just there's so much to keep in mind, and like I said, I've got other things going on. I am hoping to do more scenarios, single player on the channel, to highlight them, because I feel like the scenarios don't necessarily get enough love in content creation. Sure. I started the Egyptian one, and you can do the Egyptian one where like everything is in hieroglyphics.
With the original script.
Yeah, it's wild. And it's like the tooltips are in hieroglyphics and stuff too. Like, oh, okay, I have no idea what this says. I guess I'll just send my chariots this way. It's wild. But yeah. No, the scenarios don't get enough love, in my opinion. I'd love to see more people talking about the scenarios, more of the other content creators doing more scenarios. I'm hoping to get to it. It's just, I got a lot going on, and it's been...
Yeah, I mean, the pipeline's full, man.
It is, and it's a little bit tough
the life pipeline, the content pipeline, it's all full.
It is. And on top of that, trying to play a game for my own enjoyment versus just content is also something, too. It's not nothing.
Carving out even a little bit of time as an adult, man.
That's it. So, but all right, so that covers all of the points on the update.
Yeah, all in all, I mean, I gotta say, I'm a pretty big fan of the changes, or at least I'm curious about how a lot of these changes are going to be implemented or like actually feel in game.
Yeah.
Zealot change, I'm a pretty big fan of. I hope it plays as good as I think it is. Routing chains on a Zealot leader just sound like the most tasty thing ever, so I'm really looking forward to that. Ballista, I always thought was too strong. Glad that got fixed. Love the changes to Christianity. Love the change to Engineer. The little ambition fixes here and there, all fine. Disciples can clear vegetation. Great change, all in all. The changes to the raiders to make them more annoying. Awesome, love that. I'm gonna hate it in real life, but I love it in theory.
It'll be fun to play with, yeah.
And the tactical workers, I think those changes are appropriate. I definitely got some beef with the anchoring and unlimbering if it is the way that we think it is. I think that does need to be shifted a little bit. And the jury's still out on the traders nerf. I do think traders need a nerf. I'm not sure if getting rid of the merchant is like my favorite, but I might be biased on that one. And jury's definitely still out on the new unique unit change. I think delaying it that much, and even though you're getting 2 units, a 200 science investment is a big delay. To delay like how long it takes for you to get your laws online to actually make your unique units like really. So I don't know. We'll see.
We will have to play with it. We will have to see how it actually works out in games, in fresh games. So it remains to be seen. But regardless, please let us know what you think of the changes in the comments down below. God, I hate saying in the comments down below, but that's the thing to say.
Like, comment, and subscribe, everybody.
Oh, God.
I'll do it for you.
Thank you, Moose. And if you're not already, please consider joining the Moose and Jams Hangout Discord. The link is in the description in my YouTube link bio thing as well.
Yeah, guys, hit us with an @. Honestly, any distractions that you can give us from our daily lives is always welcome. So come over, come and chat. We're always there.
Or hit us up in subreddit, or who knows where else we're gonna find ourselves. But regardless, I want to thank you all very much for giving us your ear for this about hour or so, depending on how much is edited. And Moose, it's been great to talk to you. It's been a minute, and I'm glad to have you back on the mic again.
Always nice catching up, Jams. Love talking to you, man.
All right, my friend. Well, until next time, everyone, I have been Jams. This has been Old World with the Purple Bull Moose, and until the next time, we will see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.